Hands up who likes chocolate. Me! I absolutely adore chocolate. It's one of my favorite ingredients. And I'm going to show you a chocolate mousse with an orange caramel sauce. We're going to caramelize bananas. So there's kind of nearly 3 recipes in one. Making the mousse, doing a lovely caramel sauce, and then we're going to just pan fry some bananas or roast them. You can caramelize them. So let's talk, I want to show you just here quickly, if you don't mind. I have sugar water, so I have 8 ounces of sugar, 1/4 pint of cold water. So that's reducing and it's turning into a caramel. When that's ready, I'm going to add in some orange juice. So it's a really, really nice, fresh caramel sauce. Instead of using cream, we're using some orange juice, and you can use apple juice, pineapple juice, cranberry juice, whatever juice you want. I don't think I'll need all this. I have 3/4 of a pint. I might just use half a pint, but you'll see it changing now, and I don't want it to burn because it can, as it cooks, it will change. So this would go up to a temperature of about 135 degrees. So it's exceptionally hot. So you need a deep saucepan, and you're going to finish it off with a whisk. A spoon doesn't go in there, and you'll understand why in a moment. Okay, before I do the mousse is so simple. There's no gelatin. We have 3 eggs. We're going to put in some Cool Swan. This is a cream liqueur made in Cavan. We call it Cavan Holy Water. Have you heard that before? And it's made with single malt Irish whiskey, good Cavan cream, cocoa, white chocolate and vanilla. I have an awful shake in my hand here, and it works really, really well. If you want to make this mousse for your kids, even though the eggs will cook and the alcohol will cook, you can just put in some grated zest of orange. Works really well. Okay, every so often I'm looking at this because I need to really focus on this. The key into making the chocolate mousse is good chocolate. That is it. So Simply Better work with a chocolate here called Anya's Chocolate. Anne Rutten's her name, and she's based the far end of Cavan. So this is a single origin chocolate, 80% cocoa solids, and this is 70% cocoa solids. So what I've done is I've broken up, I'm using the 80% one, I've broken it up into small little pieces and I've just melted it. I'll just show you what we call bain-marie style. Really, really, really important. The water, which is here, never goes into the chocolate. So we melt that. Now you can melt this in the microwave, but if it burns, it's in the bin. And it's not cheap, good chocolate. It is definitely worth it. So what that means is that the higher the cocoa content, just to recap on that, is that the less sugar it has. 80%, it's rich, it's beautiful. This is recently launched, and this has been around for the Simply Better collection, the 70% cocoa solids. You can make this with milk, you can make this with white chocolate, but with white chocolate, it has the least amount of cocoa butter, so you're probably going to have to use gelatin into it. Okay, we're nearly ready here. Just before I start the mousse, if you can see this kind of turning here, I have it on full heat. So just to recap, caster sugar 8 ounces, 1/4 pint of cold water. You're letting that cook away. We're going to add in our orange juice into this, and you can use apple juice, pineapple juice, any of those juices will work really, really well. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit noisy, so if we come in a little bit close, you can see what happens when I put this in here. It's going to be a wee bit noisy. So you must remember that the sugar is exceptionally hot. So we're using the whisk, just watch this. And then the whole thing goes lumpy. So don't be thinking when you've made this, uh-oh, what have I done wrong? You haven't done anything wrong. It's the caramel, which is really, really hot, and the cold orange juice. So we just need to let this just cook out, dissolve all this lump. See this here? This needs to be dissolved into this here. So that's going to take a few minutes. So immediately what the orange juice did was stop the caramel from overcooking. I'm going to put a tiny little bit of some vanilla extract into this. And of course you can use freshly squeezed orange juice. I'm just using some regular orange juice, which is fine. Any of the juices will work for this. Okay, on to our mousse. 3 eggs, we need to lightly cook these. And that means not scrambling them. So saucepan of water, bain-marie style. Turn it down, and then we're going to whisk this. So this is the balloon whisk I'm using here, and we're just going to whisk this. So 3 full eggs, some Cool Swan, chocolate is melted, and then I have some cream whipped, which I'll talk about in a moment. Now you can use the electric mixer, but when you're doing this by hand like I'm doing, you're burning off more calories, so you can get more of the chocolate mousse. This is a really, really lovely recipe that I learnt when I worked in a restaurant called Roscoff with Paul Rankin. So this is a really beautiful recipe. So you need to lightly cook the eggs. If I go away for 5 minutes, you'll have scrambled eggs. So we definitely don't want that. So you can use the electric whisk. If you just have a little look, it's doubling up in size, exactly what I want. I'm going to turn this off now because I don't want it to overcook. And then just switch over. My left hand is my strongest hand, so it is. All right. So that's really good. I think we're nearly there. I'll just have a little look at this. So see, the big lump is kind of nearly gone. Let that cook away perfectly. And then just one little whisk here. So you've lightly cooked the eggs. That's really important for this. Now lift it off. It's going to be warm. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take out the whisk and we're going to fold in the melted chocolate. So I'll just move this out of the way. The best way to get the chocolate all out is the spatula. So we've melted this bain-marie style. We've used 2 packs of the chocolate, okay? The Simply Better chocolate. We're just going to literally pour this in here. So don't let the water get in with the chocolate. That's so important. Chocolate and water, they're not friends. They don't like each other. What happens? The whole thing will seize. So I don't want you. I don't want that to happen. So just scrape that all out. If I wasn't on camera here, I would be probably licking that bowl. So I'm just going to move that just for one moment there. And then using the same balloon whisk, you just combine this all together. Gorgeous. So there's no gelatin. It's the couverture chocolate. And that means that there's cocoa butter in it. So remember that. It's definitely worth getting really good chocolate. Okay. Now, I'm just going to leave that just for a minute. If I had time, I'd leave that for about 10 or 15 minutes. But what I've done is I've whipped some cream, okay? So we have about 300 mils or thereabouts of just regular whipping cream. Just whipped it by hand, or again, you can use the electric mixer for that. So I'm going to use the spatula. I'll leave that for after the video. I can lick the bowl, save washing it. So let's have a little look at our caramel sauce. It's looking good. You can put cinnamon, star anise, lots of different kind of flavors into this. I'm going to just preheat my pan because I want to caramelize the bananas in a moment. But now what we're going to do is we're going to start to finish our mousse. It's so simple. It's pretty much foolproof. 3 eggs, lightly beaten, over some simmering water. And then we have some whipped cream here. And then melted chocolate. And it's as easy as that. Okay. So just literally fold this in here. So there's no whipped egg whites, nothing like that. This is possibly the easiest chocolate mousse you'll ever make. And it really is gorgeous. With white chocolate, you'd have to use gelatin because there's not an awful amount of cocoa butter in it. So I'll just move that all out of the way here. And then what I'm going to do, chocolate, as you can see, it's a messy ingredient. You can pour it into lots of different things. I'll just show you what I did here. Just fix my microphone. So small little glass in there. Fill it as much as you want to. So that goes there. And then we have a little plastic container. So I want to show you why we use the plastic container. I'm going to scoop this out. Where's my spatula? Oh, I'll just have to wash that. Just taste that later on. Now let this go cool, and then that goes into the fridge. And then after what I did, I made this yesterday, so I'll just show you exactly. That's one set there. Don't know whose finger that is. That was definitely not me. I will just show you the consistency of it. So it's lovely, it's light, it's fluffy. Can you all see that? I'll just have a wee sample. Not nice at all. You wouldn't like it. It's so good. So from this runny chocolate mousse to the set mousse, which we've here. This is the tub here. So that's it there. So it is absolutely gorgeous. No gelatin. It's the really good quality chocolate. That is the key into this. So we're going to scoop this in a moment. Let's do some roasted bananas. We're going to just peel our banana. Okay, pan is hot. Tiny little bit of butter. And then we just simply just peel the banana. Now you can leave the skin on. I do like bananas So this, what I'm showing you now, is really nice on its own with some ice cream. So even without the chocolate mousse. So we're going to caramelize that. We're going to put this, what we call skin side down. So just into the pan. I turned it off by mistake. And we're just going to pop this in here. So just for a moment. A little bit of butter. You know what works really well with bananas is rum. And we're going to flambe this. So I'll just make a little bit of room just to show you better. So you can see you dirty a few bowls. Doesn't matter. This mousse, I forgot to say, will keep in your fridge for about 5-6 days. It won't last that long. Trust me. Okay, we're going to flambe this, so stand back. A little bit of rum. Come on. Come on. Well, let me just turn this up here. We'll do it in this pan here. A little bit more. Now. Woohoo! There we go. Watch the eyebrows. And then we're going to put in some of this lovely orange caramel. So I may as well use the one I have here. But the key into this is you don't need too much, just a couple of spoonfuls. That's gorgeous. Just let that caramelize just for a minute, then we'll flip it off, flip it over, and then we'll turn it off. This is the cold caramel. This is it here. It is absolutely delicious. This sauce with that mousse on its own. Honestly, it is gorgeous. That will keep for easily a week in your fridge, and it's gorgeous with pancakes. If you think of a classic French dessert, crêpe Suzette, that is very similar. They would add some contro into that. I'll just flip over the bananas here, Melvin. So we've got a little bit of colour. They are hot. I love that. And the rum is gorgeous, and just a little bit more of this lovely caramel here. So see how runny that is. So see as it thickens up, as it cools, excuse me, it will thicken up, and then we are good. I'll turn that off now. Okay. So we're going to serve up our chocolate mousse. I'm using my scoop, and I just have a little bit. Let me see if this is still warm. We could use a little bit of the hot water from here. So just using an ice cream scoop. Dip it in there. So holding your nice, look at this. Will we go 1, 2, or 3? How many do you think? Now let's button up 3, so we better go for 3. You know, it is light, it is delicious, and the key is the really good chocolate, to be truthful with you. We'll just do that again. So just scoop this using the ice cream scoop. So that's that there. And next we have our lovely bananas. So just don't put the bananas over the actual mousse. That's one thing we don't want. And you know what I'll do? I'll drizzle this lovely sauce. The bananas look a wee bit. I might as well give one banana for each little scoop. I think that works well. Now, so the one thing I would do for that is a nice little bit of texture. And these are some amaretti biscuits, which are really nice. Okay? So we just sprinkle this, just kind of break them up in your hands and kind of just crunch them over. So you have your lovely kind of warm, gorgeous bananas and then your amaretti biscuits there. How nice is that look? So that's the one that you scoop out. With the mousse then, I've done this lovely little kind of double bubble glass here, which is perfect. What we can do is just simply get a little bit of creme fraiche. I'll just use this here. Just use a small spoon. So the mousse will set. So spoon this on here. And then a couple of little raspberries. And these lovely little baby Maltesers. How good does that look? So the key is the good chocolate, cook the eggs, whip the cream. You've kind of 3 desserts in one, that lovely orange caramel sauce. I'll just drizzle this over here. And some over here too, Mel, the bananas, lovely. So this is the cold one. So I hope you try this recipe. Who doesn't like chocolate? That's my delicious chocolate mousse with the cool swan, the amaretti biscuits, caramelized bananas, and then the very simple one with some creme fraiche. You could use some whipped cream and some raspberries. So happy cooking, everyone. Enjoy this recipe, and thank you so much.